Well, good afternoon, everybody. Bill O'Leary from Legacy Planning Law Group, going live here this Thursday, and as part of our Thirsty Thursday series. And for those of you that are new to this, joining us for the first time, it's a series where I go live every Thursday and talk about a different topic that I sort of see in my law practice: estate planning, wills and trust, and elder law, probate, that sort of thing. So if you're thirsting for knowledge, you've come to the right place. So what I'm going to talk about today is how long does an executor's job take? You know, you've been asked to be the executor. How long is that going to take you? So look, being an executor of an estate can be a time-consuming job, depending on really the size of the estate, the complexity of the estate. And while a simple estate, really can take just about a few months and not require a large time commitment, if there are problems, the job can drag out for many months and sometimes for several years. So, an executor, who is that? It's the person that's responsible for managing the administration of the deceased loved one's estate. And again, although the time and the effort will certainly vary with the size of the estate, even if you're the executor of a small estate, you are going to have important responsibilities that have to be performed and performed correctly, or guess what? You might be liable to the estate or ultimately to the beneficiaries, personally liable. So the first thing that an executor has to do is what? Consult with an attorney to know what the deadlines are and what needs to be done. So to start the probate process, the executor has to file the will for it to be probated. There are strict timelines for how long after a deceased person passes away that the executor has to file the will with the court. And in Florida, that's 10 days after death. In addition, there are deadlines for the executor to prepare a list of all the deceased person's assets and create what's called an inventory and file that with the court. It's important that the executor, again, understand completely what's required and when things have to be done. Now, how much actual time an executor has to, let's say, devote to the job? Again, it can vary from estate to estate. In my experience, settling an estate takes on average between 9 and 16 months. And by some estimates, the settlement process, if you break it down into the number of hours, it can average about 570 total hours of work that the executor has to put in. And oh, by the way, the executor can be compensated for their efforts, and some studies show sort of an average of between $15,000 and $20,000. Now, while the executor has to adhere and stick to deadlines set by the state, other factors can come into play to make the estate administration go maybe faster or slower. And so here are some of the issues that can pop up that can add time or even subtract time from the administration process. Number one, whether there are any debts. The executor has to notify potential creditors about the decedent's death. Usually the executor will inform, in fact does have to inform all creditors that are known or that may not be specifically known, but that are what are called reasonably ascertainable, that could be figured out with just a sort of a minimal amount of work. Could figure out that they are a creditor that's owed money from the decedent. Those creditors, known or reasonably ascertainable, have to receive an actual letter, and they have a certain period of time to respond. In addition, the executor has to publish a notice in a local paper, publish a notice in a paper for unknown creditors. And then these creditors, you see, they have a certain amount of time to file a claim against the estate. For creditors that are known and reasonably ascertainable, it's 30 days. Once they get that letter, they have 30 days to present their claim. If they don't, they forever hold their peace. For unknown creditors, it is 3 months after the date of publishing in the newspaper. 3 months is the period here in Florida. The executor has to wait for that deadline to pass. And then, if any creditor step forward with a claim, settle all valid claims, settle all valid debts before distributing any assets to the beneficiaries. So that's the first issue that could really affect the how long the administration takes, whether there are any debts. Secondly is the location. The location of the executor and location of the beneficiaries can affect the time it takes to settle the estate. If the executor does not live in the same state as the decedent and the beneficiaries, it can take more time, let's say by sending documents back and forth. Another issue that can be a complicating factor, assets, the assets of the decedent. The more complicated the assets, the longer it's going to take the executor to sort everything out. If the estate just consists of, let's say, a house and a bank account, certainly things will go much more quickly than if the estate consists of multiple bank accounts, maybe some stocks, brokerage accounts, valuables, maybe a family business. That's a more complicated estate administration. And then the last thing I just wanted to bring up is whether we would have to deal with what's called a contested estate. If the beneficiaries are fighting amongst themselves or maybe fighting with the executor, the probate process most certainly will take longer. One way an unhappy family member can sort of hold up and delay the probate process is by contesting the will, maybe based on an allegation that the deceased was unfit when he or she executed the will, and maybe mental incapacity, maybe they were influenced unduly, what's called undue influence by somebody, maybe fraud, or maybe some argument or claim that it wasn't signed or executed properly according to the state law. A beneficiary can also prolong the process by challenging the executor's actions. So, look, every family situation is unique, so there's no set time that an executor can expect to work. There's some broad ranges, as I mentioned. And if you're named as the executor, by the way, feel free, talk to us, and we can let you know what to expect. So if you'd like to know more about how long an executor's job takes and maybe how we can help, we would love to talk to you. So as we always close these Thirsty Thursdays, we invite you, we encourage you to go ahead and schedule a free 15-minute phone call. We call it our discovery phone call, a phone call with a member of our team, and it's easy. Just go to our website, legacyplanninglawgroup.com, go to the Book Your Free Call button, it's blue, and select that button. It'll take you straight to our booking calendar. Just select a date and time that works best for you, and it's a chance for us to really start talking to each other to see if we'd be a good fit. The call is complimentary. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like it, better yet share it if you would with your friends. Again, just trying to get the word out. So I hope you've enjoyed this talk, how long an executor's job takes. I plan on giving another talk, as I said, going live next Thursday at about the same time, part of our Thirsty Thursday series. So if you're thirsty for knowledge, you've come to the right place, and we will certainly quench your thirst. So, Bill O'Leary, going to sign off for now on behalf of everybody here. It's a great place that I work at, a great team that I work with. We call ourselves Team Legacy. Go make it a great day, and go make it a better world.